chords. Well, someone asked me about if I could do a video on how to play Castles Made of Sand by Jimi Hendrix. And I mean, if you look on YouTube, there's tons of videos of people playing that, people talking about how to play it, doing little guitar lessons and whatnot. So I don't really have anything much that I can add to that, but I'll give you my version of it. And I didn't sit down to learn note for note the entire song. I listened to the first 2 verses and the chorus and the 3rd verse and kind of stopped there. It gets repetitive, and of course he's doing little improvised notes as he's playing, and so I'll show you a few of the ones that I was able to pick out just from what I'm hearing, and you can play a lot of those in different ways, but I've got my guitar tuned down so it matches the recording that I've got. I didn't do it with a tuner, I just did it by ear, so it may or may not be in tune with what you're doing. It's down a little bit from regular tuning. I don't know if it's all the way a half step down or less or more. I think I'm kind of in between, maybe a quarter step down or something. But here's my high E string. So you can tune your guitar to that. Let's start out. This will be snippet 1. I'll kind of show you that chord that he's sliding around at the beginning. And the chord is like this. At the end, he also slides it to a few more positions, the same basic idea. Something like that, you know. So the easiest way to get to that chord, if you're familiar with playing an F chord, the way a book would show you, it would look like this. Alright? So you've got your ring finger on the 4th string, 3rd fret. You've got your middle finger, 2nd fret, 3rd string. And then at the bottom, you're barring the B string and the E string, which is your 1st and your 2nd strings, at the 1st fret with that one finger. Alright? So, if you already know that, what you do, you adjust it in 2 different ways. You put the pinky finger on the 1st string, 3rd fret. Of course, when you put this in there, it overrides the note that you previously were barring here. So you don't have to bar these 2 strings anymore. You can just play the 2nd string, because the 1st string, again, is being played by the pinky right there. So, you can lift up, you don't have to keep that motion going on, you can just lift it up and fret a typical note. Now, the second thing you want to change about it is on the 3rd string here, that you're playing with your middle finger, just take that off and play the 3rd string open. Also, if you want, you can play a bottom note with your thumb by wrapping it around, and some of you will be able to do that more easily than others. But that's essentially what's happening, and it's just a movable chord, and you can play it without that bottom note and it sounds just fine. By the way, I don't have an amp anymore, so I'm sorry if this is a little bit hard to hear or if the tone is not all that great, but this is a little easier to play on my electric guitar than it is on my acoustic. Although we're not really bending any notes in this song, so the acoustic, it's not like I'm doing anything that can't be done on an acoustic. You just have to pick a little bit.
Caller ID unknown.
Wow. Who's calling? We don't know. Here's the thing when you're sliding this chord around, is you don't just like pluck it staccato like that. You strum it in one position. After you're finished strumming it, you slide it up to the next position. And so it's kind of a delayed response that way. Like that. At the end there, that pink... Oh, by the way, if you'll watch your ring finger here, you're starting out at the 3rd fret. So then, watching that finger, you would move from 3rd fret to the 5th fret. From there you move up to your 8th fret, and you find the 8th because it's in between the two dots here, the 7th and the 9th. So you're following the dots, 3rd fret dot, 5th fret dot, in between the 7th and 9th frets to the 8th, up to the 10th, back down to the 8th, back down to the 5th, the 3rd, the 5th. 8, 10, 8, 5, 3, 5, and then pull off the pinky down to the 3rd fret. Right? So that's the beginning of it.